Oh, now we're live. Hi, everyone. Just a minute. Okay. Hey, everyone. I hope everybody's doing really good today. Weekend coming. Yay. For those that work or are looking forward to something that they're doing this weekend. Today we're going to do my Christmas mitten, which I just love. I love this little guy. I just think it's just so adorable. So this is what we're going to do today. A couple things first. You'll see I put a post up in the group. You consent to sharing your input. Okay. Just of some of the things that we're going to be doing on the Thursdays this month. The last Thursday of the month is on the 29th because there's an extra day this month. So that makes 5 Thursdays. So I am going to put a post up probably this weekend, and I'm going to get everyone to make a suggestion about what you would like to see for that day. Might be a lesson on bow making, a lesson on distressing, anything like that. And I am going to pick a name. We are going to pick a name by randomly for someone to receive a gift. So make sure that you make a suggestion on it, something that you'd like to see, have more information on, get demoed, anything like that. And that is going to be for, excuse me, February 29th. I'm going to go here. Yeah, so that's going to be on the 29th. Did you let the other 2 people in, honey?
I can't see them.
Oh.
Can you?
I can see them. Yeah. Joyce and Rhonda. Okay, I'll let them in. I think you have to find participants now. They've changed it.
I am in participants, and it only shows me who's in already, not who's waiting.
Oh, it didn't show you who was waiting?
It
Oh,
didn't.
that's not nice.
Yeah.
They changed, I tell you, every time you turn around or do an update, they've changed things a little bit. Hi, Joyce. What else? So we're going to talk about what else? Hi, are we going to talk about? Hi. Oh, come over here. Okay. Oh, hi, Phyllis and Rosemary. Who's here? Rhonda and Dusty, Yvonne, and Darlene. Hope everybody is doing
Joyce.
Good. I'm just going to just a sec. Oops, come here. Yeah, so I will be putting that post up, so make sure that you let me know what you would like to see. We will be doing, I'm going to do the stocking today. Next week, I'm going to do create with Deb. So we'll think of something, different. And then the next day we're going to do Herbie. I just want to make sure that everybody has their Herbie kits. So I'm just going to give it an extra week. We're going to do.
And you're making a mitten today.
We're doing the mitten.
Not the stocking.
Not the stocking. Yeah, for those that did notice that. Now, for those I just wanted to let everybody know to be careful. So when I did my Herbie, I picked him up by his ear, kind of went like that, and I snapped his ear off. This was before I even made it. So just be careful because it's very, very thin here. You see how thin it is? And it could snap really easily. If that does happen to you, you can glue them back together because it's MDF. It actually glues back together really, really easily. So you can glue it back together, and then you can put just a little, something very thin there, just to maybe secure it a little bit more, just at the back. And that's why this little bow here came about, was because I had broken the wing there, and that covered it up just beautifully. And look at it, and He just looks so adorable. I just think it made it look like he had hair. So anyway, that is just a little FYI. You can see it's, yeah, I have to actually secure it a little bit more. But if you do happen to, pick it up, drop it, something like that, they actually glue back together very easily. Let me see. I'm just trying to think. Was there anything else that I wanted to tell you about? I think I have bought almost every folk art color that there is. So I will be switching over to folk art. Again, we have a lot of trouble getting deco art here in Canada. They stopped supporting the Canadian artists, even their helping artists, which we are. So we just have way too much trouble. So we started buying folk art, and I got to tell you, I love folk art. It's the pigmentation in it. It's creamier. It's really beautiful. So I'm quite excited to start using it. I will, when I'm using it, put the substitutes for deco art in the instructions so that you will always know what color you can use instead. I did put the line drawing up for the teddy and the hobby horse. I did put it up earlier, and I don't know what happened, but it ended up going in really little, and it was just really weird, even though when I printed it off at my end, it printed up regular size, but if I tried to print it off of Facebook, it printed up really little. So anyway, I did correct that. So the one that's up there now is the good one. So that it just gives you all the little line work for the hobby horse and the little teddy bear. Now I did base coat ahead of time just so that we would have enough time to get through this. Now you can do these in Rookwood Red. I actually base coated them in, this is chalk paint Tuscan Red, but Tuscan Red is practically the exact same color as Rookwood Red. So I think I actually did the original one in Rookwood Red, and then I wanted to see what it looked like in this, and it's like the same color. It's really good. So I'm just going to show you what to do. So I actually did the front and the back of each one, just so that if I just like it to look finished. So I did that, and I did it on the teddy bear and the hobby horse too. I did the front and the back so that it looks, at least a little finished from the front and the back. So I'm going to just switch this around and over to me. Put some of the stuff out of the way here. Hey, everybody, hold on to your hats. I'm switching you around. Ta-da! Okay, let's move this off a bit. Let me know if I'm going to go off screen, okay, honey?
Yep.
This is a possibility. Okay, I'm just going to move that up there. I'm trying to keep my little pieces in there so that I don't lose them. I'm going to put that over here so I don't lose that. The first thing I did was I didn't do anything with these. These don't have to be painted or anything. I just left these as a. I want to lightly sand the correct side. So the front and the back of this one. Just give it a really light sanding, and to do it, I use my 320 grit sandpaper. It is really fine. So just take the very soft, very light amount off of it, and it just gives that surface a nice smooth finish. So I'm going to start up on the white, just so I don't bring any of the red. Sometimes the red dye seems to get on this, and then when you go into the lighter color, it brings the red into it. So I'm going to give it a light sand here, and you'll see I want to get it around the edges too. it distresses the edges when you do that, which is exactly what I want. And I'm going to do that on the front and the back of the mitten. And then I'm just going to lightly go over this red. A little bit of paper towel. And you can see how it just looks, it looks older already, dirtier, a little distressed. Let's see if you can see compared to this side. Can you see the difference in them? This is what I want. I have to make sure I'm doing the correct side. Oh, actually, I think I'm going to go around this edge a little bit more. This is such a cute little design. I love the little hobby horse on this. I'm just going to get that off, and I'm going to go around the edges on this too. And then just take the paper towel, make sure I get all the dust off. I'm not doing the inside of the mitten. I'm just worrying about the outside of the mitten. I just want to get all the dust off. And then you can see we've got them sanded down a little bit. And the edges are all done too. And the surface, it feels really nice and smooth. Now, when I do, for some reason, red, can get on your sandpaper, it gets in, and then when you go to use it again, I find that it can get in the paint. So I always take a piece of paper towel and just kind of go over the sandpaper, just really lightly, just to make sure I get a little bit of that red off. Now, since I have these out, I'm going to go ahead and sand these little pieces too. So we have the hobby horse, the teddy bear, and the star. And I'm just going to really lightly go over the surface. And this just gives it a nice smooth finish. And I'm going to take my little gator and just go around the edges, kind of distress it up a little bit. Be careful of the ear that you don't do it and rip the ear off. I'm doing it over some paper towel just so that I can throw the paper towel away afterwards. And just around the edge. I've been working on the designs for the next 3 sets of ornaments for April, May, and June. And I've also been working on the pieces for March. So when we have our lesson on the 15th, they'll all be ready for you. And I'm hoping to actually even have a lot of the kits packed so that I can ship them out really quickly. Yeah, just around the edges of that too. So these, they've all been sanded. They look great. The little snowflake. I'm not worrying about sanding it. And I'm also not worrying about the little teeny tiny heart that's there too. So I'm going to take this and get rid of it, so that I don't have dust going all over the place. Now I'm going to take these and we're going to distress them. Now I'm going to use, let's see if I can get it here, which one, see where it is. Okay, I'm going to use Distress Oxide Black Soot to distress the red part of this. Now, if you don't have it, don't worry. You can use Deco Art Soft Black. You can use Deco Art Black Plum to distress it. Just you can use either a dry brush and dry brush the edges, you know, just go over the edges like this, or you can use a shading brush and shade it. So that's completely up to you. I'm going to use a Distress Oxide Black Soot. It almost has, I don't think you can see it, but it almost looks like it has a little tinge of blue, like a deep, 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 deep blue to it. It's super, super pretty. So I am going to try, I am going to use this one. Let's get a brush here. Let me get a piece of paper towel. I should really do have to actually clean these brushes again pretty soon. Okay. I'm going to just take it, go around the edges like this, pretty them up. Now you can do this before or after you do these stripes. I usually end up doing a little bit before, so I've got this much done, and I'm just going to leave that much, and then I'm going to put the stripes on, and then I'm going to come back and just check my distressing. Okay, so I used bleach sand for these stripes. Now you can use bleach sand, you can use warm white, you can use snow white, whichever color you think is going to show up more. I'm going to try bleach sand for it. Bleach sand is what I also did the cup with. So I'm just going to get my water. And this is Chris's 18-aught script liner. I have to pick up some more brushes from Chris. Okay, now there's nothing perfect even about this. I just kind of started at the thumb here, and you'll notice their lines are irregular. See if you can see. See, they're uneven. They're broken a little bit. Don't want these to be perfect. So I'll deliberately break them and separate them. I'm going to bring this down a little bit, just I think, while I do these stripes. You can do them, you know, any way you like. You might like yours really nice and straight, and I don't. I want mine. And then I'm going to go this way. A little crooked there. And then I'm going to go over to the next. I'm going to go here and I'm going to do the back side of this. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing. You don't have to do it really, the lines really dark. My brush seems to be a little gimpy for some reason. There, this is better. Okay. And again, you can see I'm doing a really quite uneven broken lines. So we had a phenomenon, a very, very rare phenomena here in Penticton yesterday morning. It was very, very misty here. And we had purple mist. That literally everything outside was purple. And then it turned to blue, and then it turned to pink. And I don't mean a little bit of purple. I'm talking bright purple. I'll put a picture up in the group later. But apparently it's this really rare phenomena. It's weird. It's just really weird. Thought we were being invaded by aliens, ladies. Now I went, you can see here how I also went around the outside. And I did just some broken lines with some cross hatching on it. I'm going to just go around really lightly, very, very thin, fine lines. I mean, you can pick up you don't have to, don't leave your brush on it. See, I picked my brush up. And I'm just really, really lightly. Do the lines. You can just do a little cross hatch anywhere you want. If you want to do it exactly where I did it in the original one, you can look at the picture. I don't even know where I did it exactly in the original one. And then these are going to go like that, but with this also is going to be all splattered. But I'm going to splatter it first before I put the star on. So let's get an old splattering thing. It's not that fun. Let's use this one. And I'm going to use Snow White. Looking, making sure I don't forget anything. No. So I'm going to use my Denta brush. And I do like to check on just on something else first to make sure that it's splattering properly. And I need a little bit more water and a little bit more pick-me-up. Okay. I'm going to splatter this. I'm going to splatter it on both sides. And now that I have wiped some, I'm going to dry. Tip it off. And I'm going to dry this. And then I'm just going to check the distressing a little bit on it after we glue it together. But we're going to do the cuff first. So when does everybody start getting ready for the December craft fairs? Is it very early? Now. Now. Yeah, me too. Me too.
If I was smart, it would be now. So you're
I
not,
know.
so you're not all panicky in October.
Oh, I know, but you know what? There's something to be said about being panicky.
Sometimes you work better under pressure.
Sometimes under pressure, yes. Okay, now I'm going to take
Sheila Price Vesper says that she has started now and her first craft fair is in October.
really? We
Yeah.
there's one here in July. There's like a big one. Actually, Deb was talking to me about it, and I can't remember if she actually did anything. Now I have to ask her because I can't remember. So this is the scroll stamp from the grunge stamp set. Let's see if I've got it right here. So this is the grunge stamp set from Stampendos, I think, and it's the scroll one, and I really like this one. So I'm going to take vintage photo, and I just want to lightly, you see how I'm just kind of randomly stamping on it. Now, you don't have to use this. You don't have to use anything at all. But if you want to, if you have a stamp at home that you like, I would just make sure it's not too big and clunky of a pattern. Something softer, I think looks really good. Now I'm going to take the Distress Oxide and I'm just going to give it a little distressing. And if you don't have this, it depends on how dark you want to go. You can use a little bit of raw sienna to shade around the edge. You can, I think asphaltum actually might be a little bit too dark. I would do more the raw sienna or the burnt sienna. I wouldn't go too dark. Now, just a little hint, or tip, if when you do your mitten, if you find that it's too dark, when you do the red, you don't like it, it just seems really dark. You can do a little dry brush of a brighter red, just kind of in the middle here, true red or even Santa red. Just do a little dry brush just in here, and it will brighten it up. Some people don't like this darker red, but you can brighten it up just by dry brushing it with a little bit of true red or, one of those brighter reds in there. I like this older kind of rusticy look. Now I'm going to get ready. We're going to glue these together. And then I'm going to glue the star on, but I'm going to glue these together first, just to give it a chance to set before we start doing, a whole bunch of stuff to it. Now I got this. This is a different glue. It's from Art Glitter, and it's apparently a really fabulous glue. So, should we try it? Let's try it. I really like this fine point on it. Oh, I wonder if I have to do this. We got this from this company that's on the mainland of British Columbia called Treasure Mart. But apparently you can get this all over the place. Deanna, you've used it, haven't you? I think said.
Yeah, I use it for paper crafting. It's a really good glue. I've never used it on wood before, though.
Yeah, I'm sure Deb Antnick does. She's the one who got this for me, so let's see. I'm going to position this on. And I don't care. See, you can see a bit of glue coming there. It's on the inside. I don't care. I'd rather it be on the inside.
And despite the name, there is no glitter in it.
There is no glitter, no. Yeah. It's just, I guess, the name of the company is Glitter Art. Oh, I tell you, that really does stick quite quickly. Ah! Yeah, this actually dries very quickly and hard. Okay. To make sure that I have this on properly. And you can see it comes just under our little holes there that we use for hanging. So I'm just kind of maneuvering this a bit because I want this to be really nice and flat. Oops. Okay, I think that one's okay. Oops.
Did you get a pin to put in the top?
I have it comes with the Dingle Fritzer.
Yeah. Oh, but usually there's a titanium like
No,
pin that you put in the top so then keeps it from getting clogged.
no, I didn't. I'm just gonna spread this a little bit of Q-tip. No, there's no pin. Should I have gotten a pin?
I did when I got mine. I don't know.
Huh. Maybe they make the lid a little different now. So I just really want to make sure that this is nice and even all the way around. And then I can put it aside. Okay, now I'm just going to put this aside and let it dry. Right there. And I'm going to take the star next. I got all over my hands. Okay. Now I'm going to use the same scroll stamp because I want to, you can see how we just adds a little bit more detail to it. Looks pretty. And you don't have to you don't have to go out and buy a whole bunch of different stamps and different things to put them on. As you can see, I repeat, use the same stamp on the star and the cup. I try to repeat using a lot of the same colors, the same stamps, the same stencils, because I don't want you guys to think, oh, something new, I got to go out and buy more, more paints. Now she's using these colors, and I like to reuse a lot of the same things so that you don't waste money or anything like that.
Hey, Deb,
Yeah.
did you forget to put the other piece inside?
Did I forget the other spacer?
I was just going to ask you if we were
Oh,
supposed to use two.
shoot. Thank you. See, I start yitter-yattering. I started talking. Ooh, that could have. Oh. It's falling apart here. No, I didn't forget. Come on. Me? Does that sound like me?
No.
No. That's funny. Thanks, everyone. Good gravy.
I actually just went and grabbed my kit and said, because I thought, I'm sure we got 2 of those things.
Shocking, you did. It's shocking. Yeah, I made it with 2 spacers so that there would be lots of room to put in the the horse and the teddy bear. I didn't want them crammed all in there. Make sure that this is on right. Well, that was exciting. You just never know what I'm going to do you? You just never know. What did Debbie forget this time? Okay. And I'm sitting here looking at it too. Like I was sitting here literally looking at it. And I'll go over with Distress Oxide just to make sure that you don't see any of, see, you can see a little bit of the white. And I will come there with Distress Oxide to make sure that it all looks really nice and even. Okay, now we'll put that aside. And we're going to go back to our star. I'm going to take some lamp black and I'm going to go around the edges, you can see with this. Now, if you're really not good with a liner, and you can cheat. I mean, use one of the little lining pens. We got what Faber-Castell, I use the Micron pens. There's so many different ones. And you can use one of those. But I actually like lining, so I'm going to go around the edge. And I did this with black. I mean, you could probably use, asphaltum or something. I kind of wanted it to stand out a little bit more. And add a few little cross hatches, little ticks here and there. Just like that. You can see that's, again, just really irregular, wavy lines. They're broken. That's exactly what I want. Now I'm going to take the distress. So there are some choices that you can make. You can distress this by using, you can use like true ochre and then raw sienna, shade it around the edges. You can use your distress oxide. There's walnut stain, vintage photo, looking for there's the vintage photo. Now this one, I kind of like this vintage photo. This is a distress oxide. The distress ink is a little bit darker. And I kind of like this color to distress on this. So this is the distress oxide vintage photo, but again, just use a little bit of true ochre, some raw sienna, and it'll look really good. I'm going to take my brush, just pick a little bit of it up, and I'm going to go around the outside. And it actually just shades it. They say it distresses it, but the way I do it, I just kind of distress it, shade it, you can see. It just adds a little bit of warmth, more warmth to it. And that's all you need to do. Just go around the edges with your little blending brush, which I absolutely love. These blending brushes. Every time I go down to the Dollar Tree, I buy more of these blending brushes. I have like 20 of them, I think. Just keep picking them up.
You putting some in my box?
Did you need some more, honey?
You can never have enough.
Okay, I'll send you some more. You can get them on Amazon. You can buy them. I mean, you can buy them in the makeup department of your store because they use them for makeup brushes. I'm now going to take, this is the little snowflake. I've already base coated it with bleach sand. And now I'm just going to take a little bit of that vintage photo. And I'm gonna go around the edges a little bit in the middle. This adds a little bit more color to it. It makes it it's a little dirtier. And now I'm just gonna get this. So I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to the snowflake. I don't know if you can see it, but I sparkled it with some champagne stardust. If you ever get a chance to buy this is the prettiest galaxy glitter. I find you can really put this on anything and it just really softens it. It just looks so pretty. It's one of my favorites, as you know, and I use it on just about everything. So I'm just going to take a Q-tip and I'm not splattering it this time. I'm just going to tap on a little bit with the Q-tip. Hope everybody's snowflake gets arrives to you okay. I know, I think it was Keiko said that hers broke in the shipping. So hopefully everybody gets to them okay. I've been very lucky with this thing's not breaking, so keep that up. Now I'm going to glue this on. We'll try this again. I'm going to have to get used to this, I think, a little bit. This glue. I'm going to stick it down here.
You want to move that up a little bit, Deb?
Oh, sure. Thanks, honey. And again, you can put this anywhere you want. You know, you may want it not, I wanted it like, I like it slanted a little bit like this, but you may want yours straight up and down. It's all personal choice, right? And I'm going to glue this star. I'm just going to use my glue gun to glue this star. This over here onto the snowflake. Just like that. So now I'm going to just put this to the side. Whoops. And yes, if you do get any of those cute little hairs, you can use your hair dryer and the glue here as well. Melt away. I'm gonna just put this up here again. And let's take the hobby horse. He's so cute. Okay. So now what I did with him was I painted his nose and I painted it using fawn. So I'm just going to take a little bit of fawn. I should come down a little bit maybe for you to see him a little bit better. Let's take, I think I'm going to take this. So I'm just going to take, this is just one of Chris's new brushes. This is her flat, one of her flats. And I'm just going to go just in here. Now it is in the line drawing. So if you want to follow the line drawing completely, go ahead. I just kind of am eyeing where I want it. Just right here. And I'm going to dry it. And now I want to shade this nose a little bit. Um, but I'm also going to do the halter, and you can see here where I shaded the halter too, just on the right side of the halter and the right side of the nose. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to take a little bit of bleach sand first. Now, if you don't have bleach sand, another color you can use is this oyster beige. It's a really pretty color. A little bit of a substitute there for you. I'm going to just take a little bit of this bleach sand and I'm going to dry brush. And it's just so softly. It's all over this little hobby horse. But again, you can barely tell. It's just, I've just done it so softly, but it just adds a little bit more depth to our little hobby horse. Now I'm going to take, so you can use Rookwood Red. If you don't have Rookwood Red, what the deep burgundy is another color. You can use Heritage Brick as a color you can use. And this is just for the halter. So we're going to paint the halter on. And I'm just going to line it on. And I can still use my 18-aught liner. I'm just going to press a little firmer, and that will make my halter just a little bit wider.
Can you tell us what the brand of glue was again?
It is called art glitter. I tell you, that stuff, does it ever firm up hard, like get hard quickly? Oh, I'm surprised at how quickly that it gets up. And then I'm going to take it and I'm just going to go, oops, my arm slipped. It's behind the ear like this. Neaten that up a little bit. There. Now, again, it is on the line drawing. If you're not comfortable doing it by yourself, just eyeing it, just follow the line drawing. Now, I'm going to do the eye. And again, there is a line drawing for the eye. I am going to wing it. But you can follow the line drawing. They're so small, these little eyes, that I just find that it's easier for me to wing it. Oh, sorry, Rhonda says, oh, what was it again? Art Glitter is the name of the company of that glue. And I tell you, it really is good. Dries very, very quickly. If you're the type that has to maneuver, it does dry up quite quickly, so harden quite quickly, so you may just have to watch that. Now, you can, like I am just going to eye this. I'm going to eye. gonna eye the eye. I'm just gonna fill it in. I think I'm gonna use a little thicker of a brush. Just to fill this in. It's so funny, you're staring at it, right? Trying to make sure you get it in the lines and and everything's perfect. But if you blink while you're coming down or doing a stroke, it's like, oh no, did I mess anything up when I blinked? I try not to blink when I'm filling in these little tiny spaces like that. Okay, now I'm going to take this black again. And I'm going to do some eyelashes. I love doing eyelashes. So we have these little eyelashes. They're very, very delicate, very tiny. Again, if you have trouble doing fine lines, just buy one of the micron pens. I'm gonna just add a little bit of white in this eye. So you can use Snow White or Warm White. I'm gonna use Snow White. So it stands out just a little bit more. And a little dot. Little ends a little weird. Okay. Now I want to do a little bit of shading on this first before I just do some distressing. Oh, where's my shader? Okay, that's well. I'm just gonna look. This one's better. Sitting here going, where's this and that? And I actually took the brushes that I was going to need and put them in one spot. And then I've been sitting here going, where are the brushes? Where are they? Oh, I put them somewhere normal and then I couldn't find them. So I'm going to use Fawn to do this shading. So I think I'm going to put a little bit just under the halter there. Is that what they're called, halters? I'm not a horse girl, but I think they're called halters, aren't they? Any horse people out there? Is it called a halter?
It is.
Okay. Are you a horse person, Roxanne?
We had horses.
Who did? I never had did.
We did. Like Craig and I, Joanna had a horse.
Oh,
We had horses
oh.
for like, I don't know how many years. What
Maybe
color
that
are you using again there, Deb?
fawn. Got a little bit of glitter right there. Get off of there. So I'm just using a little bit of fawn going under the halter here and then to the right side of it here. And I'm going to pick up a little bit more and I'm going to go on this side of the nose, just shade it. But on the nose part itself, I'm going to use bleach sand. And I'm going to highlight the edge of the nose. So this edge here on the inside. You can see, you know me, I like to take the color, start out, and then walk it up to the edge. I think I'm going to pick up a little bit more. When I did this originally, I used desert sand. How in the name of, I don't know, but I ran out of desert sand. So I had to use antique white and it's a little bit darker. So this fawn isn't showing up quite as much. So you can, pardon me. You can use a little bit of raw sienna if you want. It would look really good. Just to shade this a little bit. I think I'm gonna go and get some and I can show you. Oh, that's cocoa. Cocoa would work too, any of those colors. So cocoa would work. I'm gonna try raw sienna. So if you don't have desert sand, you can use antique white like I did. But maybe shade it with some raw sienna, because I think this is going to look really pretty shaded with a little bit of raw sienna. I think it needs that little bit, that little pop of color there. Just a little richer, yeah. Yeah, it looks way better just with that little pop of color. The fawn just didn't work over that antique white. And I'm gonna add a little bit of it here. And I'm gonna add a little bit of it on its side. Like that. And now she needs some cheeks because, you know, they look pretty. So again, you can take Rookwood Red, Heritage Brick. You can, if you find it's too dark, you can even do some dried clay. I'm trying to decide what color. I think I'm going to start with dried clay. And then if I need to, I'll just add a little bit of Heritage Brick to it. So let's find a little brush. Ooh, I got this one. Deb gave me this one. So let's try this one. So this is dry clay. But again, you can use any of the soft, you know, if you use Rookwood Red or Heritage Brick, make sure that you really take most of the color off first. And that everything is really dry because you don't want it to be too harsh. So this is dried clay and I like this. I think this is the dried clay and I really like that. It's soft. It's not too harsh of a color. So I think I'm just going to use that. Now there are some little dots. I did give it a little bit of freckles, but I'm going to put the mane on first, okay? Actually, before I do the main, we're just gonna distress around the edges. And to distress around the edges, I am going to use, and again, you can use whatever color you're comfortable with. You can just go around it with raw sienna if you want. Or if you're using antique white, if you're using desert sand, just use fawn. If you want to add just that little bit more color, you can add a little bit of the raw sienna, or you can use the distress colors. I'm going to use distress ink, and I'm going to use vintage photo. You like this color? I'm going to go around the edges. I'm just going to dirty him up just a little bit like that. And then I'm going to take cheesecloth. So in your kits, everybody got cheesecloth. And this is messy. Like there is no fancy way to cut this when you're cutting the strips to put the mane on. I'm just going to take my scissors, cut a little bit. You don't need a lot of it. And I'm going to gather it down at the bottom. And then right along here is where I'm going to glue it. And we will trim this. This will all be trimmed back. So I'm going to bring the mane. Just going to look and see, did I bring it how far down I brought it? Okay, so I'm going to bring it right down to his neck. So right in here. I'm just going to start the mane just above there. And this really is just getting cheesecloth and gluing it just along the edge there. And you'll know when you put it on, you know, how much you're putting on. I'm just taking it, putting it on, and this will all be trimmed. We'll trim all this. Now, depending on how long your strip is, you can gather it at the bottom, or you can take it and gather it in the middle. This one seems a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to gather it in the middle. And you can see it's rippy, and that's exactly what I want. I don't want this to be all perfect. I like it to be kind of ripped and shredded, but start at the bottom and work your way up. Don't start at the top and then try and get under. Start at the bottom. Work your way up. Oh, I better move my hand up a little bit. And I'm doing it really close together. I want it really nice and thick. I think the mane just makes this. I'm just going to cut this into some sections. And then again, not even. I did not cut these all nice and evenly. They're all different lengths and exactly what we need. We don't need a whole bunch of you know, we don't want this to be perfect. I mean, it's a hobby horse, right? You can see where we're going with this. We're just going to keep doing this just all the way around. I mean, you may have your own way that you want to do this. This is just the way I like to do it. And again, we are going to trim all this. It's going to look so awesome when it's done. Again, I just cut in some strips off. I kind of pull at it a little bit, rip it a little bit. And I'm going right up on the ear with this. And then here. Again, you can see how I play with it a little bit before I glue it on. And I'm just going to cut another strip. I love doing all this part, this kind of crafty, figuring out how to get it to look the way you want, get your idea, the idea that you have in your mind on paper, you know, on, turn it into, you know, watch your vision come to life.
Is the strip about 1 inch wide?
Pardon?
Is the strip about 1 inch wide?
So, yeah, so it's about, so I'll show you. So I cut it about 1 inch wide, but then I just start pulling at it and, you know, manipulating it. So yeah, so it's like 1 inch wide. So I take it like that. And then I'll take this strip, which you can see is not the most even thing in the world. And I'll just maybe cut it into 3. So it's like, you know, about 1 inch long again, maybe just over 1 inch. And then I manipulate it. I kind of pull it apart and play with it. And I kind of grabbed it in the middle. This is the last one I think I'm going to do. I'll check it over and see if I have to slip any in anywhere. See how adorable he gets to look after a bit. Yeah. So I'm going to actually trim him down a little bit so it isn't quite as long here. And you can see how perfectly that little cut is. Well, I don't want that. I'm just going to manipulate it a little bit so it doesn't look so perfect there. And I think I want to add a little piece right in there. So you just kind of play with it, get it to, you know, how thick you want the mane, see if there's any spots that you might want to add just a little bit more in. I'm going to put just a little bit right in here. Like that. Let's move this out of the way. And then I'm just going to kind of pull at it and play with it a little bit. But so this is the, like I had cheesecloth that, you know, some cheesecloth has a darker dye, some has a lighter dye. This one had a bit lighter of a dye. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of my distress oxide and this is a vintage photo. I'm just going to take a little bit of it and I'm going to dirty up this mane a little bit just by getting some on my brush and then just kind of tapping it on. And then it just kind of dirtied it up a little bit. See? Like that. I mean, really, you can sit and just play with the mane for a while if you want. But I wanted to glitter this. So I took, this is my same Galaxy glitter. Now, you can splatter it if you want. I'm just going to take a toothpick. Just kind of put it on here and there on the mane. Looks so pretty when you do that. And just kind of roll your to pick on a little bit. And then I want to add a little bit of freckles to it. And you can use a darker color. So I'm going to use raw sienna for it. But if you have burnt sienna or, you know, one of those, go ahead and use those. But I think I want to darken this just a little bit. I think his nose is a little bit too pale. And this is what I always end up doing. I look at it after when I've done it and see if I have to, you know, add anything to it. And I've decided I want the nose a little bit darker. So I'm going to make it a little bit darker. And I think the reason is because this antique white just looks a little bit different. It's a little bit I don't think that the fawn goes as well with the antique white. But I still don't think that's dark enough. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of asphaltum and just do a kind of a little wash on it. Just want that a little bit darker.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, see, you always have to just keep looking and go, that's not working. And it's because I ended up using the antique white instead of the desert sand. So I'm going to just dry this and then maybe just highlight the edge. So it's just
Cocoa would have
something,
worked well too.
pardon me?
Cocoa would have worked nice too.
Yeah. Cocoa would have worked fine. But yeah, see how it really just needed, the nose needed a little bit of oomph there. I'm just gonna take my shader, a little bit of bleach sand. And I'm just gonna do this edge here. There. And I'm probably gonna pull this little mane till I get him exactly the way I want him, just fiddle with him. But I'm going to add he has a little ribbon around his neck. So let's add that little ribbon. Because then they just look a little bit more finished as soon as you start adding this stuff. So I'm going to take this, and it's kind of twisted-y and, not in the best of shape, but I'm just going to take it, tie it like that. And I'm going to cut it. Then I'm going to take a couple strips of this. And this is just the red and white stripes that you would have gotten. I'm going to take a few strips of it. Now, this one is too wide. I want it thinner so you can see how wide this is, the number of stripes, kind of a beige and a red, a beige, a red, a beige and a red. It's a little bit too wide for what I wanted. So don't be afraid to cut the fabric, and anything that I give you, it's, there's some of them are going to be too wide. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it. And then I'll trim this back. I'm just going to trim this all back. Doesn't need to be that long. And I'm cutting in different lengths. I don't want it all the same length. That would be weird. Like that, and then I'm just going to take my glue gun and I'm going to just glue the back of this so that it stays put. That'll help keep it in one spot. Now I want to take a little bit of berry. So I use so much berry and I had so many people that I now don't have any berry left for me, but look at this beautiful, beautiful dried flowers that I got. So I'm going to use this. Just grab a little piece of this. Ow. And I think will look really pretty right here with a little bit of I think I'm going to put it right there. Might be a little bit too much. I did give everybody berries who ordered the kit. I think I'm going to just glue a little bit of this right here. Everybody, you guys all got the good berries. I just wasn't able to keep the good berries for me. I had to order more berries. And then, oops. Now I'm just going to put this to the side while we do the teddy bear. So that's going to go there. Now we have the teddy bear. So now the teddy bear is base coated in fawn, which was good because I have that. And then I went and I got some, I need bleach sand. Where's my bleach sand? Move that over there. Let's tidy this up just a little bit first. So we're going to take some bleach sand and some asphaltum. Now, first thing I'm going to do is there's arms and there's little paws and everything. So you guys all have the line drawing and you can just use just getting it off. So this is the line drawing for the teddy bear. You can take it, put it on. Yes, this one actually does fit. And this is my transfer paper. And I always use the Sorel transfer paper. It's my absolute favorite. Always use it. Now this again. See if this is moved. It's probably moved. I hate, this is why I always just eye things. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Done. Okay, stay. I'll do it in sections. I'm going to take this, draw the muzzle on. I'm not going to draw the eyes on. I'll just wing the eyes and got to just pull this over a little bit. Do the arms and do this arm. I'm gonna take it on and just trace on the feet and the body. I'm just gonna do it on this side too. Now, there, should be fine. Oh. Okay, so I just want to take a little bit of the asphaltum and separate these. So I just want to put some separation in where the arms are, the legs are. And again, I'm going to use just a little bit as asphaltum, and I don't like it very dark. So I always make sure that I take off as much as I can, because I can come back and add more. It's impossible to make it lighter once you shaded it darker. So I'm just going to go around. You can see I went on the inside here where the arm is. I went on the inside along the body. Same here with where the leg is. I went on the inside, the body side. And I'm going to come around this arm like this. And you can see I'm doing it quite lightly. I don't want it to be really, really harsh. And how I'm doing that is just by using hardly any asphaltum and just really working it in so that it isn't, really dark, getting rid of a lot of the paint. And then we have to go around the paw. So on this inner circle here, I'm going around it. And you can see this by looking at the picture too. I'm just going to go around there, and then I'm going around. So this is the paw here. This is the leg. So I'm going on the leg part. And then I'm going to go over to this one. And again, I'm going to go on the inside here around the paw. This is where the paw meets the leg. So I'm going to go on the outside here. And don't be afraid if it's too light, just add a little bit more. Again, you can always add more. It's taking it away that's the hard part. I'm going to go around this arm. But I think it needs just a little bit more here. A little bit more here. It's going to come under this muzzle. Like that. And I want to do just a little bit here and there around his little face and his ears. I'll go around his muzzle a little bit. I'm going to be giving him some cheeks and stuff. So, and then just kind of look and see where you may have to increase that shading a little bit just to get this separation right. I'm going to go around the outside edge of the arms. more painting on this little guy than usual, but looks very cute. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of bleach sand and I'm going to highlight some of the areas. So I want to go along this inside edge of the arm. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one along the inside of the arm, like that. And I'm going to go along this inside edge of the paw, and I'm going to kind of start in a little bit and work my way out. That way I'm kind of shading highlighting the paw too at the same time. And I want to do just this little inside area here. I'm going to go around it a little bit. So where I've shaded it, I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight to the opposite of the shaded side. So I've shaded on here, so I'm going to highlight on here. I'm going to bring some of that in a little bit into his tummy area, like that. And I think I'm going to bring a little bit in his face. Just like to add a little bit. Got a little bit of wash with that color. And this is with the bleach sand. You can see I'm just kind of adding a little bit here and there. Like that. Now, I wanted him to look kind of like he was fuzzy. So before I add the eyes in and the muzzle, I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to stipple with bleach sand. Now I really want to work it in. It's dry. I'm using a dry brush and I put a little bit on the edge and I really want to make sure I take some of that off. I don't want it to be too thick and heavy with paint. Just enough. And you can go like this and you can see where there's really not very much, but just enough that I'm going to stipple it. So I'm going to stipple some of this on. And it kind of makes it look like he's got a little bit of fur. You don't dry brush, you don't rub it. You got to make sure you kind of pounce it a bit. Now you can always go back and check too. So after you kind of stippled a little bit, if you think you've done it too much and you've taken a bit of the shading away, you can always go back and add a little bit of this, little bit more shading. But I'm going to take my black and I'm going to do these eyes. I always yell at my black because for some reason, even when the lid goes on, it just puts a coat over the edge. I'm going to use my 18-aught liner to do this, to do the eyes. And really you can, again, if you want, you can freehand it, or you can follow the line drawing. I'm just going to add a little eyes here. But you know me, I really do have to do a little bit of lashes, even though they're going to be super, super, super tiny. I'm just going to add a little bit of lashes to them. That's all that. And then I just did a dot on them. I didn't do a whole bunch of of uh did little lines and everything in them. I just did a little dot. Now for the muzzle, I took a little bit of asphaltum and I just used my liner to make the nose. So just here. So again, I just eyed this, but it is on the line drawing. You can do that yourself. This is probably the most complicated one that we're doing. Just because some of these pieces are so little. Herbie and Believe and all of those are just kind of, regular painting that are just, the base coating and stuff. This one probably has the most. Need a little bit more water on that. The most painting involved in them. The other ones are all quite easy. Now, of course, I don't want this white here like that. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at this, and I think I gave him kind of a white muzzle. Huh. I think I did. So, what I'm going to do is, where's my eraser? The things you notice when you look. Well, number one, I want to erase this. I don't want this white going around the muzzle like that. So this is, I'm just erasing these transfer lines because really I don't like them. So I don't usually bother transferring, but they do erase very, very easily. So I'm just going to take a little bit of bleach sand on my angle brush. I'm going to go around the edge of the muzzle like this. There's no mistakes, ladies, only ways to fix things. I'm just going to go around it like that. I actually like it, I think, a little bit better. Not so dark. Isn't he cute? Okay. He is very little. And again, there's probably more painting in him than him and the hobby horse than you're going to end up doing with most things that I give you. Now I want to give him some little cheekers. So let's take a little brush. I think I'm going to use this. So I'm just going to take this brush. That's going to be too big. You need something really little to do the cheeks with. Let me see what I have. Most of my brushes are upstairs because I decided today would be a good day to clean them.
Could you use a Q-tip?
Well, no, I don't really want to. Oh, I know what I wonder if I can do this. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take just a smaller angle brush. If you have, I'm going to crack the smaller angles. This is an old one and it's not as good, but it'll work. And I think I'm going to start with dried clay. Just so I don't do too much. And I'm just gonna, just like I was shading, just gonna paint on, just like as if I was shading it with a color, as if I was going to use a color to shade it. And now I'm going to add a little bit of heritage brick to that, and that'll just make everything pop. Glitter. Okay, there he is there. Now, this one, the original one, I ended up doing him really dark, and I like this one better. The only thing is I'm going to just go around the outside edge a little bit with a little bit of vintage photo. Just to kind of distress him up a little bit. Like that. And then because he's a teddy bear, and I didn't do it on the original one, but I think it would look really neat to add this detail. So he's a stuffed teddy bear. So I think he should have maybe some little stitch lines on him. And again, this is, completely up to you whether you want to add some stitch lines. I like the stitch lines. I think it kind of looks neat. It adds a little bit of detail to it. And you can even do it coming down his forehead a little bit. So it just adds a little bit more detail to him. And if you want, you can add a few little wiggles and jiggles and cross hatches. Can never go wrong with a few little wiggle jiggles and cross hatches. There. Yeah, see, I like him better than this one. This one, he looks kind of angry. Now that I look at this one, I go, yeah, that was really kind of weird how I painted him. We will just ignore that. We won't look at that. Now we're going to add.
He looks like an Ewok from Star
He
Wars.
does, doesn't he? Look at him. Look at, don't you think this one looks better and cuter? I think he's way cuter. I'm going to take a little bit of fabric, and I want it. So I want, this is, and when you get your kit and you go to do the scarf here, take one of these strips that I gave you, cut it, do a little slice on it really thin. See how thin this is? And rip it down. And you'll see how the end's all quite ratty and everything. That's exactly what I want. And that's what I'm going to do around him. Too long. Like that. And then he has this really cute little heart here. Now I took a little bit of distress and just kind of went around it, with this black soot. And again, you can use soft black, you can use black plum. And they look just as good. I wanted to try that black. So I'm going to take this. We're just going to glue this down. And put a little bit of glue on the back of here. Stick it on. And then I ripped, kind of really frayed these edges a bit. Like this. You can see how I just kind of ripped them, and I just thought it looked neat like that. Just going to make sure that that stays down. And that's our little teddy, and I'm just going to stick him up there. And then we're going to make the candy cane. The candy cane is so easy. So it's just as unbleached cotton that I have coffee dyed. And I'm going to take a strip of it. Like that. And this is what I use. This is kind of, it's just a covered wire. And I think these make really neat candy canes. And it's really very thin. And I did measure it exactly for you guys. I'm going to just fiddle with mine. There.
Did you find that at the dollar store?
Oh yeah, there's millions of this at the dollar store. I have absolutely tons of it. I have a wire cutter here. Where is it? I just had it. I may have to use this. Okay, so first thing I did was I wrapped this, and I wrapped it in this unbleached cotton. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the bottom there. Take this, stick it on, and I just wrapped it. And yeah, I liked how these edges are frayed, and it's exactly what I want. And I just wrap this all around. Glue on the end. And then I cut it off. Just cut off that excess. Like that. And then take your fabric that I gave you. Like this. Open up, open up, open up. So I iron a lot of the fabric that I give you. I don't iron all of it, like after I ripped it, because I mean, literally it would just take me hours to try and do that if I did. So when you get fabric and it's like this, if it's, twisted and it's round from where I ripped it, because I like to rip the fabric because then you get this worn edge to it. You can give it a little iron, or if you have a hair straightener, you can use a hair straightener and just down it. And it actually works really good. I'm going to take this striped fabric now. We're going, oh, I got a little bit of black paint on me. Do not want black paint on this. Just want to glue that to the bottom. And then we're going to add the candy cane stripe. I want the frayed end to really show. So I think I'm going to reverse it. So I want the frayed part to really show. So I am adding the stripe here. And again, you don't want this too wide, this piece of fabric. So if yours is too wide, just give it a little cut and make it a little bit thinner. Otherwise, it doesn't look like a candy cane stripe. I'm just going to glue that to the end. And give it a whoops. And give it a cut. And then just kind of secure it down. Now I'm going to shape it into the candy cane shape. Like that. And I'm going to take a little bit of the cheesecloth. That out of the way. I just want to tie it around the candy cane like this. You know, my candy, they never look the same twice, ever. I just want to take it, tie it around the candy cane. Like that. I'm just going to trim this a little bit. And then I'll probably rip it a little bit to make it look quite frayed and old. And then I just took a little piece of this fabric again, and see, I ripped it, made it really, really thin. I just kind of ripped it because I wanted it to just look like a little bunch of little threads. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can always use things like the jute string or something if you're not comfortable ripping these up really small. I like ripping them. So you can see I am going to rip it as really thin like this. And I'm just going to take my finger. You can take scissors and really kind of fray this up a little bit. I mean, it's really up to you how much you want to do. I like to do a lot. Gonna cut it and then I'm just gonna rip it a little bit like I did for the bottom of this scarf. Like that. And it just makes it, it looks kind of old and tattered. Gonna stick it there. And we have our candy cane. So I'm going to stick the candy cane there. Goes there. And now the horse and our little bear have these little sticks on them. And I did give everybody sticks. And they're just these. They're just really thin craft sticks. And they're very narrow and they're very thin. And I just took some asphaltum. A little piece of paper towel that I got damp. And I just did a little wash on them. You can use a baby wipe if you have a baby wipe. I'm not worried about going to the very bottom because it's going to be hidden inside the little mitten. Just going to dry these off a little bit so that they aren't too wet. And I'm going to glue the hobby horse onto the back. So this is the hobby horse. We're just going to take it and glue it on like this. Now, you can, when you glue it, stick it under there if you want. And I'm really just going to use my glue gun to do this. Like that. And it's going to go inside the mitten, but I will put the wire in first, but I'm just going to show you how it goes. Like that. You know, I'm still not happy with his nose. It still is bugging the bejingles out of me. So I'm just going to fix that before we finish this off. Because I won't be happy. I really won't. I'll be miserable and I'll think, well, everybody saw that the nose looked weird and I don't know. I'm just not happy with the nose. So let's get it right. So I think that looks better. I do this a lot. I fiddle a lot like this. Okay. So that one's done. And then the teddy bear is the same thing. I glued the stick on, but then I added a little bit of a little bell and stuff onto it. So I'm just going to take this, glue it onto the back. Like that. And these are just so that they'll go in really, really easily. I think I'm going to take a little bit of green fabric that I have. I like this. This is just kind of a checkery fabric. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and just tie a raggedy bow onto it. And this isn't something that you have to do. It's just, you know, just a little bit extra. You want to do something like this, add a little piece of fabric. You could have, could it be cheesecloth? It could be unbleached cotton. We're just gonna add a little bit of color to it. Like that. Might make that just a little bit smaller too. And then I'm going to take a little bit of jute ribbon. These are all just little extra details that you can do. You don't have to do these. I think they look good when you do. And I'm just going to make a bow just by doing a bunch of loops here like this. I'm going to cut it and just tie it in the middle. Yep, go over there. Cut some of this excess away. We don't need all that. And then I'm going to glue it just into the center here. And again, these are all just extra little details that I think, you know, look quite cute. And now I think I'm going to put a little rusty bell on it. It's right in the middle there. Just like that. Oh yeah, this teddy bear looks so much better than the little Ewok one. Okay, so those ones are all done. Now I'm just going to run the wire through here, and I did give everybody wire, so you don't have to worry about whether you got wire or not. And I'm going to run it through both holes like that. And I just brought it, twisted it around. And I did the same with this one. And you can see I've left it quite long. And I'm wrapping this one around like that. And then I'm just going to look at it and see if I want to, this is going to have cheesecloth around it. So I'm just going to do that before we start putting everything in. So again, just grab, I gave everybody a lot of cheesecloth. So grab it, cut a long strip off of it. I'd much rather give everybody too much than not enough. So I think you'll find in your kits that they're more than necessary to do everything. And I don't cut this. I mean, I don't sit here and measure and make this as perfect little line. Oh, good heavens, no. I like them a little bit ratty. That's what I do. So I'm just going to take it, wrap it around like that. And tie it. I'm just going to separate this a little bit. I'm going to tie it into a knot. I'm going to cut it, but I'm going to leave some hanging down about there. And then I'm going to end up trimming this probably just a little bit more. just like that. And then I'm going to take my berries. I have these berries here. Now, if you don't like the brightness of the berries, you can paint them with a little bit of Rookwood red. It just gives them a really, a more muted color, and I just think it looks better. But everybody's different. You may like yours bright and shiny, but you can see I'm just giving it, and it does stay on. So I just think this color looks a little better on this kind of a piece. I'm going to quickly dry them. And again, this is more painting than we normally do. I painted my nose black and I like it with a warm white light. Oh. You'll have to send me a picture, Joyce.
Post the picture in the group so we can all see what it looks like.
It's great. See, everybody, you don't have to do exactly what I do. Everybody has different ideas. Even I change my mind from sometime from when I've originally done something to I show it to you. Like this teddy bear, I didn't like the teddy bear, so I changed it during the class. Now I just want to splatter it a little bit. I'm just going to use a little bit of the warm white. Splatter these berries. Like that. And maybe do a little bit more on here. I just want to give it a little bit more of a light splatter. Like that. And then I'm going to take my Galaxy Glitter Champagne Stardust. I'm going to pick some up. And I want to splatter the cuff. You can, I don't know if you can see, but I just see that little bit of sparkle. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to just do a little bit on both sides. Now we just have to put everything in. Now you can glue it in if you want, or you can leave it loose. I glued mine in just because I didn't want it, oopsies, I didn't want it flopping all around. So I glued mine in. So I just took my glue gun and I put a little bit. And I glued it. Just pushed it down where I wanted it. I think right there is fine. And then I did the same thing with Teddy. I glued it into, and again, you don't have to do this. You can leave yours, kind of flopping or, so it can move around. And then I took the candy cane. I did not glue the candy cane in. I just put it in wherever I wanted. Like that. And there it is, all put together. Get some of this out of the way. So this is the little mitten. Got a little bit of more light on that. And again, you can sit and play with it until the cows come home. Like Joyce did, you can change the color of the nose. She said she did hers black, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. You don't have to use the exact colors that I use, like you can shade this using a little bit of raw sienna and a dry brush instead of the distress oxide. It's just a lot of little different things. Now, when you go to do this, if you're thinking, oh, I'm really not sure what color should I use or how should I do this, send me a message. I will let you know what I think, what might help you. If you need me to come back on and go over something, send me a message. You may want me just to concentrate on the teddy bear or how I did the mane or something. Just come on. Just send me a message or put it up in the group saying, hey, Deb, do you think you could? I don't mind doing that at all. So these are the two little mittens that we have now. Oh, Joyce sent a photo. Joyce sent a photo. Let's see what it is. I'm just going to see. Oh, there she is. Okay. Oops. I'm going to show you it because, oh, she did the nose on
the hobby horse.
On the hobby horse. I kept thinking she meant this, the teddy bear. Yes, you can do the nose. So this is Joyce's nose.
Oh, wow.
Hobby horse.
Look at that eyeball. That's a nice eyeball.
She did a good eyeball. She did little things on the halter too. But see, Joyce is using her imagination. Yay, Joyce!
Looks great.
Yay! I love it when the people use their imagination. And you can do it black. Yeah, I didn't this time. But if you look back at all the reindeers and everything that I do, I gave them all like my painting ones. And they all have black noses, every single one of them. This was the first time I did something that I didn't do a black nose with, which is weird.
And it looks great though.
It does look really good. I'm going to say goodnight because I have to feed my husband.
Oh yeah, you go feed your husband. This took longer than it should have taken.
It was great though. Thank you so much.
There's lots
I
of
love
little
it.
things. Yeah, thanks.
Good night,
We'll see you
everyone.
later, Deanna.
Bye.
Thanks everybody who ended up staying later than they should have taken. And there's just a lot of more work involved in this little mitten than in probably anything else we're going to do. So thanks everybody for your patience, staying a little bit longer. Again, use your imagination. You might want to do something a little bit different. I'm going to bring this up to me and I'll be upside down probably. Am I upside
You're
down?
not. You're good.
I am not upside down. I am usually upside down. Yeah, so anyway, our little mittens, aren't they adorable though?
Yes.
And they're so easy to do. They really are very easy, easy to do once you kind of, some people might freak out, oh my God, I don't do that much painting. Because there are some people in our group who aren't decorative artists, so they don't do a lot of painting. If you're having trouble with the painting and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to mess this up, message me. I'll help you. I don't mind at all. I'll come back on and I'll just do one thing again and just, really take my time and show you, just to give you a hand. So you have a lot of trouble, you're worried about something, just message me. Thanks everybody. I am coming into the group, into Deb Paint Swimsy tomorrow, as a surprise, with a new little thing that I've done, just a fun thing. So I'll come on in the morning and tell you what time I'm coming on. It's probably going to be in the morning. like around 10:30 Pacific time, 10:30, 11 Pacific time. But I'll put it in the group first thing in the morning. So thanks everybody for coming. Those who can't join me tomorrow, I'll see you next Thursday.
Thank you,
Maybe-
Deb.
You're welcome.
Bye.
I might even
Bye.
come on sooner. Bye, everyone. I'll see you
Bye.
later.
It was a
Thanks,
great class. Thank
Roxanne.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.